E100 readers, welcome to Unit 16. Now, there are 20 units in this plan, 5 readings in each unit, so we are in the last quarter. If we were running the 1,500 meters, right now you would be on the bell lap, so you may be feeling, kind of exhausted, really tired. Can I make it? You can. Give it your all. Stay with the pack, and then give it your kick to the end so that you finish the race and finish well. Now, this unit is about the Apostle Paul in the book of Acts. It's entitled The Travels of Paul. We're going to be introduced to Paul, who's one of the key figures in the New Testament. No one except Jesus is more important to the New Testament than the Apostle Paul. Well, he's going to begin, as we're going to read, as a persecutor. He's someone who had participated in the death of Stephen, but as he is going to Damascus to arrest Jewish followers of Jesus and have them brought back for punishment, the Lord Jesus appears to him, and not in a vision, not in something that is just private, but appears to him physically in his resurrected body, just as he did to the disciples and others in the 40 days after his resurrection. Because of this, Paul is going to realize, even though he believes that he has been serving God by persecuting Christians, he's really been opposing God. He has been. Jesus says, "Why do you persecute me?" And Paul realizes, that's the voice of God. But the voice of God identifies himself as Jesus. So, wow, what a terrible thing he's done. But he recognizes as well that he's being extended mercy. So when Ananias goes and says, "God has sent me to you so that you can be baptized," Paul is ready. And as he is baptized, as he receives the Spirit, he begins preaching. And so later we see God calling him and Barnabas, and then later still other associates of Paul, who are sent as missionaries, deliberately traveling to carry the gospel. As they go, they preach to anyone, Jews and non-Jews. And Paul is often speaking in the synagogue, but if he's forced to leave there, he goes into the marketplace or in any city, wherever he can go, where people are ready to listen. He becomes a special advocate of those who are uncircumcised, who are not Jewish, and who become Christians, people that we call Gentiles in the New Testament, and insists that God is revealing you don't have to be circumcised and become Jewish to become part of God's people, because Jesus died for all. He gives the Spirit to all who have faith in him, and he fulfills God's promise to bless not one nation, but all nations. So you don't have to become part of that one nation to belong to his people. Well, as Paul continues to travel, he's going to go back to Jerusalem, and there he's going to be arrested in the temple. And much of the end of his story is going to kind of loosely parallel Jesus' story. Arrested in Jerusalem, he's going to stand trial, but multiple trials. Unlike Jesus, we're going to see he has a very long period of time where he is a prisoner. And this is where God is going to fulfill his promise that Ananias makes for God to Paul back at the beginning of his story, where he says, you're going to speak before kings and governors and before the people of Israel. You're going to speak in front of all kinds of people. Well, Paul is going to speak in front of some very impressive folks. He's going to be shipwrecked, but God is going to deliver him. And then we'll read that he spends 2 full years in Rome as a prisoner under house arrest, but his activity is described in the last phrase in the book as bold and without hindrance. This is the way he speaks, even though he is a prisoner. And it's a fitting close to the book of Acts, which is about the bold speech of the followers of Jesus, empowered by God's Spirit. And, it's a kind of a fitting reminder to us. We are called to be God's bold messengers. And even though we may be hindered by circumstances, by difficulties, by opposition, probably not in prison the way Paul is, but a lot of believers find themselves in prison for all kinds of reasons, we are nevertheless, unhindered. This is how it goes. We're followers of Jesus. We're following on the way of the cross. And this is God's victory. Whoa, okay, I said a lot about that. I got kind of excited. I hope you enjoy this reading in Unit 16.